Okay, so I've done videos of each movement individually with either a little detail or kind of intermediate detail. So now if you've been following along over the past, where are we, 50 or 60 days of lessons each day, then you should have been able to assemble alongside my other videos where I do the entire form. You should be able to do the form now. So I'm going to take this video forward and I'm going to explain the movements in more detail, just like I would if we were in class together. Okay? So today I'm going to try to run as though we were in class. I'm going to start with my form facing the camera, because you're in class, right? So let's do this thing together. So I'm not going to be doing the breathing. I'm going to, my timing's going to be incorrect because I'm going to be busy talking, trying to give advice. So just follow me through. So here we go. So I straighten the back, flex the knees a little bit, lengthen my spine. I should sort of feel like I'm being suspended from above, or a good one is look forward and listen backward. So it's like you're trying to hear something behind yourself. Okay. Now, I reach downwards through my fingertips as though I was trying to reach under the couch, and make my arm longer to get them keys, or probably the remote. Now I reach out my thumbs, and I'm going to open up my hands like I'm peeling my hands open here, okay? So my thumb pulls open my palm, my fingertips are still reaching, and then I'm going to make sure my shoulders rotate to open my chest as I come up, right? Now, you can't see me off screen, but my hands touch, I come down, I've got the thumbs out, which brush and end on the heart. Top of the spine, so I reach over the top of my head, and I try to feel each vertebrae as I bow. And then the bottom of the spine means that I start at the ankles, knees, and then I flex in my pelvis, put my tailbone underneath, and sort of stand back up like a cobra. Okay? I bring my arms down. This would be my exhale. And then right when my hands went apart, I open up into this diamond on Dantian, so my thumbs are pretty much in my navel. Brush on the belt meridian, Daimai, relax. Now we sink into the feet. My right leg takes my weight, I bring up my left, I step. Now, this is like stepping on a sheet of ice. I can tell I'm Canadian, right? And you're not sure if it's heavy, if you're too heavy for it or not. So if I don't want to fall through the ice, I'm not going to fall into it. So in this case, I touch, it'll take my weight, and I bring my tailbone over until I end up in the center. Now we're going to start, move the hands and adjust the chi. So, ox tongue palm. As I inhale, reaching through my fingertips, I sit down and backwards very gently with my spine, essentially my tailbone. I want this to come up, and I'm still reaching through my fingers the whole time. That's usually the first thing you got to get together. Here, it's very important that I don't wing out my arms. I have to have my chest open. You want this all open, and that would be my inhale. And as I exhale, I sit back up and stand out of the chair, right? Then do the second one sideways. So same movement, I sit backwards and downwards. Make sure you're not turning into a turtle here, okay? It is a turtle back, blah, blah, but as you can see, I'm not, bending forward or any of that kind of stuff. I'm taking from, let's tuck my shirt in, from a spine posture kind of straight up and down. My hands are counterbalancing me. My back is round, but I'm not doing something silly. So the movement, exactly the same. I'm sitting in my horse stance. Chest opens, breathing in, and I stand back up. Okay, and then we're on the third one, which we all know. 1, 2, correction here. You want this to be parallel to the earth, and you don't want this to kind of chicken wing in or out. You want this to be as even as you possibly can in all ways, okay? So I'm not on my chest, I'm not way out in front of myself. And then I want to rotate, ideally, both my arms at the same time. I actually have a shoulder injury right now. So if you really watch this shoulder, if I really do want to, probably watch it and see it. When I rotate right now, one arm, see my left arm, doesn't want to sit the way my right arm is. That's just because it's got to work through that injury. But if I keep going slow, this is what's great about low hand, right? Is it's a diagnostic. If I keep going slow with it, I can feel it's a little tender there. So if I just go through really, really slowly, it'll rehabilitate. I know I'm talking a lot. So that's 3. So on our third one, we don't do the stand. We're here. Now I'll turn around. So everything I do, you should know. So here we go. We're going to look, right hand pierces into the tofu. Body pulls the right hand across. My elbow has a pulling sensation as I come backwards with it. This comes up to my chest. And I sit into my cat. Now, where my hand is, stay in your cat stance. Where my hand is right below my collarbone. Right below your collarbone, if you kind of feel around in there while you're like this, you should find a little divot, okay? And in that little divot, if you poke it, it should hurt. That is a part of the lung meridian. And that is where we're trying to get, well, I might as well tell you, right? This piece of our thumb, right? When I make an ox tongue, I get this little bump, right, where the joint is. This is now my acupuncture or pressure device that I'm, giving a little bit of pressure into that lung meridian. Talking too much, right? I look away. I look back. My body coils in on itself. Palm turns over. I step backwards. Fingertip down, the ribs, across under the dantian. Let the feet turn on the balls, basically. Let it be natural. This is my inhalation. And then I turn and rotate my entire torso, but not my hips. And I press forward. Palm should face the ceiling. And that was one of the things Sifu Chen was really adamant about, was making sure this was level. I did not have the flexibility in my wrists I do now. That's all his fault. Now I pull across. And I let this kind of whip, as though it was like a snapping of a whip or a tree branch in the air, right? Being thrown around by the wind. So it whips, and then my body turns back and pulls and drags my arm. And it whips. My body pulls back. So what I'm doing is I'm turning to my left, pulling backwards and kind of sitting down. And it whips because it's hit the bottom, and I use that as momentum to stand me back up. And then I bring it to the most extreme position I can get it into, right? I really want to flex my wrist here. And I roll the arm over from the shoulder, reach through the fingertips, and hand down. Other side. So now we're here. Settle in on to exactly the same as the other side. Sit and look. Turn, close the entire body. Be sure that the wrist turns as well. Step backward. Okay? And now I'm going to talk about the pendulum part of this movement. What I'm actually doing is I'm bringing my head out, and I'm trying not to stick up my butt. I don't want to feel balanced. That's what's weird about this, okay? So when I'm doing this, you can see on camera it's easy to see. I'm really forward. And when I sit back up, if you just do this, you'll get this feeling of, momentum is what it is. But like, imagine your body is sort of like a big bag of water. And when you slosh the water back and forth in a bag, right, it'll get light on one side and it'll get heavy on the other side. And that's what's going on, this wave-like motion, right? That's why there's so many metaphors about water in martial arts. Okay? So when we're doing it, we're on this side.